bottle of wine, you know, especially with you, different heights in it, it will look so much better. I could see where we tried to clean the glass, the mirrors, the other day. It looks like we tried to clean them. So you can see where we missed. Yeah. I just want to make sure we hit those every day. It shouldn't be like that. And who's working the hot cakes? Dixie, can you make sure the glass gets clean today? Candy? I said Dixie, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure all the glass goes off.
Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine Hy-Vee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Here we go. It's Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. Now, what a lot of you don't know is there are some hijinks that happen on the set of the show before we get rolling each morning, and for that I'm thankful often that the microphones are not, as we say in the business, hot. It's hot, meaning it's not literally hot. It's hot, and then it's picking up my voice and sending it to you on your mobile device, on your computer, or tonight on Muscatine Power and Water Cable Channel 5. We do have fun, and it's always a good time to be here. I was a little surprised, and I will give a shout-out to our friends from All Steel, Tammy Drabaugh and the crew. They normally are at Hy-Vee Starbucks on Friday. So imagine my dismay when I even pre-called in my order from my desk, and then I came downstairs and there were All Steel people all over the place. So that means that Betsy, God bless her, had to bring me my beverage, and I appreciate that, Betsy. Thank you. We love the All Steel, and as I told Tammy and the All Steel crew, without them here buying their Starbucks, I can't afford to buy diapers from a baby. So it all works out. They're just a day early. You know what I'm going to do one day is I'm just going to go to All Steel. I'm just going to show up to All Steel and say, hey, I'm here to buy a chair. And they're going to be like, you got to go through a dealer. And I'm going to say, okay. And then I'm going to take a chair and wheel it all the way back here. Do you think they would notice? I got to go across that bridge thing and then cut a left, right? That'd be a left. And then straight back to the store. And we're all going to have All Steel chairs. What do you think, Ryan? Wouldn't it make sense? You know what this show needs is more product placement, guys. Am I right? It sure does. And it's not even really product placement since we have a Starbucks inside the store. Now, if Apple wants to send me a new iPhone, we could do that as well. How about that public health product placement, though? Look at that right there. All right, that's enough. It's good to be with y'all. Did not sleep a lot last night. And before we do start, I want to mention something that I finally got to see 2.5 episodes of. So I grew up in Elmwood Park, Illinois, and then Oak Park, Illinois, which are suburbs of the Chicago area, if you're not familiar. So Oak Park is where we lived from 1996 until my mom moved to Muscatine about 2 years ago now. So on the Starz network, like the subscription, you know, Starz, like HBO, you can also watch it on an app. So Starz has this reality series or this documentary series called America to Me that was filmed at my high school, Oak Park River Forest High School. And it's been on for a couple months now, but I just started watching it last night. And it is very compelling. Oak Park is an extremely diverse community. There is a picture from America to Me with one of the students that is spotlighted. So they follow a couple different students at my old high school. And the trippy part to me last night, I graduated in 2002, so 16 years ago, and I'm watching this last night on my phone, and there's Mr. Khan, my English teacher, and there's Mr. Noble, and all of these other, that is Stranger Things, but that's all right. I went to high school with Barb, and, we had a good time, and then we lost Barb, and we missed Barb. The Demogorgon got her. So... check out America to Me if you have Stars, or if you're interested. It's produced by, I believe his name is Steve James, who is behind one of my favorite documentaries ever, which is called Hoop Dreams from the late 80s to early 90s. So check out America to Me. It's fascinating. It takes a look at social injustices and race and the modern high school. I mean, Oak Park River Forest High School is this sort of melting pot where there are, at this moment, 3,200 students in that building. It is a giant school. It is a massive high school. There's Steve James, the producer of America to Me. And that could have been my locker in the background. It's painted gold, but... All right, let's get to our first guest. Amy Hessel, Character Development Director with the Muscatine Community YMCA, is here because, Amy, there is a lot going on in your neck of the woods, starting with this Friday.
This Friday.
And Trivia Night.
Trivia Night is my favorite.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm terrible at Trivia Night, but it's really fun.
Do you, at this point, you got your questions and everything, the categories, however you say it. How do you say it? Categories. Okay. You've got it all prepared. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We just need a few more tables.
Oh, that was one of the things I had written down. So Trivia Night is this Friday at the Rendezvous.
Yes,
here in Muscatine, and you do have room for more tables.
I do.
All right. So a typical, and correct me if I'm wrong, a typical trivia table is 8 people.
8 players. Yep.
Okay.
$10 each.
Awesome.
We'll have 10 rounds of 10 questions each.
Okay. So at this point, we're sitting here Thursday, the day before.
Yeah.
People, sometimes we wait till the last minute to take part in things, but should they call you today or tomorrow at the latest? Is there any room for people to just show up tomorrow night? What's the best?
We will fill them in, but we want to know. I mean, it's easier if we know ahead of time. I always have a few extra tables set up, but if we can call or email, or even it's all over social media stuff, so you can just post on there, we're coming. And I will take that too as a...
I like it. This is great, right? So yes, embracing the social media. So you could send a Facebook message, theoretically, to the Muscatine Community YMCA's page and say, we'd love to play trivia.
Yes.
And we think we're the best at trivia. And by the way, there are quite a few people in this town that are trivia fans. And they like going to different trivia nights. And they take it seriously.
Yes.
Now, there's some players that'll even go to trivia night so often that they are known for bringing oh, that's Tony. He always brings that really good dip. You'll see this tomorrow, right? Correct me if I mean,
oh yeah,
the food is always
That's
one of the best
most
parts.
important. The food and the bar really are the most important when you go to trivia.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Rendezvous will take care of all the drinks.
Yes,
so you can't BYOB, but you can BYOF. Bring your own food.
Bring your own food. Load that table up.
Yeah.
I love seeing now we have people who come in with whiteboards, dry erase boards, so that you're not talking to flash their answers around their table and stuff. So.
That's very smart, isn't it?
Yeah. I said, we keep saying we're going to try that. We have a trivia team that kind of tools around, but we're terrible, so.
Why is it important? I like how you're very honest. Amy's trivia team is not the best, ladies and gentlemen.
We have 6 of us who play all the time, and then we bring in, and we know none of the questions.
Hold on, Betsy's adjusting a microphone for us really quick. You know none of the questions, but at least you have fun, right?
Right. But we bring in 2 people who are pretty good ringers.
Excellent. Okay, so now you've got a whole system in place. It's your table that we need to be watching out for.
Answer 90% of the questions, and then the rest of us are good for the other 10%.
So maybe you have the 2 ringers, and then everybody else brings food. You're you just show up with that brain up here, and we'll
My
take care
job
of
is
the
to
rest.
run drinks.
Nice. Okay, somebody's got to do it. Why is it important to have a successful trivia night tomorrow at the Rendezvous? I want you to be able to tell folks at home we need this to be successful so that the proceeds can help the Why Do.
This is all to support our youth and teen programs. So we have 80 hours of free middle school programming every month. We don't have to have a membership to participate. what we are doing, it's like, we have video games, we have this, but what we're really doing is we're giving kids an opportunity to be somewhere where they belong, where they feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
We have programs that can help them get fit and understand health, that they can just talk through things.
Sure.
We're teaching self-sufficiency with cooking and coping skills and all of those things. So in order to do all of those things, we have to have a successful fundraiser at
Yep.
Trivia Night to keep doing those things. And then our after-school childcare program, we want to make sure that we can still offer scholarships, that we can still offer really inexpensive and affordable childcare for after school.
So it is a fun fundraiser, but ultimately, the importance of the programming. There are children that you would be the person that would have these firsthand accounts of someone that may have been heading towards a path that wasn't the best,
Absolutely.
and then gets connected to a place like the Y,
Absolutely.
and all of a sudden they make a complete 180. And those stories are the best, aren't they?
They are.
Because again, for the majority of the kids that they cannot, and I say this a lot on the show, but they cannot control their circumstances.
They can't.
So, but it is nice to be able to know that if they can just sort of get connected to the why.
And every kid needs to have somebody. And not every
Right.
kid has a teacher or the neighbor. And one of the things that we can do is I make sure when I hire, especially for my teen staff, is that we are all very different.
Sure.
So Chris is fantastic, and he holds kids accountable, and he really teaches them in the moments. And he can really guide these kids that have a little bit of quirkiness to them. And then I'm kind of that person who likes the kids who are just on the verge of being naughty, but I can ring them in,
Right. That's why we're friends, because you never know with me. Still a little squirrely.
And
right?
I have another staff member, Amy,
Yeah.
and she's so good at just sitting down and connecting and having conversations
Sure.
with the girls, and particularly the girls. But, with Card Club, we have kids coming in that wouldn't have an outlet for that kind of activity,
Right.
and now they're doing it in a safe place where we're teaching other kids how to do that, and then they're socializing, because it's one of those things too that they're socializing and teaching each other, and
Right.
that's I love watching that because I don't have any knowledge of these games. So
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I imagine that the peers, so the kids that have been going to the Y for maybe a couple of years, that have appreciated the resources, are then excited when somebody new comes along, because they can sort of, I don't know if mentoring is the right word ultimately, that's not their responsibility, but it certainly helps your staff when you understand that there's like this young person has matured enough to then be able to speak to this person that's just arriving, and be on their level. Because as much as we like to say that we can, some of us are better than others to talk to young people or kids, I mean, it really sometimes takes someone that is their peer.
Yes.
To.
And I just really had this yesterday. I was walking in with all my groceries and stuff, and kids got off the bus, and one of the kids brought a new friend. And he was directing them, like, this is where you're going to check in, you're going to go in there, and the staff are awesome. And he's like, I know some of the staff. And he named off a couple of staff that really, and it was, but I was like, dang, just when you see some of those
you
things.
feel pride.
Yeah, you're like
proud. Like, that's such a great moment, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, because that's the ownership that you want, and that's what the Y, that's what the Y is doing, is like you're understanding that we're setting up these young people to eventually be future leaders.
Yes.
So if they can start to take charge now, it's good.
Yeah, I had 2 new kids in our youth spin class and our youth cycling class this week.
Awesome.
So, Mel walks by and she sees all the kids in the cycling room, and she stops and she's giving her like woohoo, because we have 9 kids in there.
That is great.
So
yeah,
to be doing things like cycling, indoor cycling. I mean, I work them hard and I hold them accountable.
Sure.
You're not quite going to the speed I need you to go, and I'll call
and for a
them
lot
out.
of these kids, I mean, I think about even still when I go to the Y and I get on the elliptical and I got the earbuds in, sometimes I'm taking out some frustration, and sometimes you can harness some of that frustration and turn it into a little bit more oomph as you're going. So for some of these kids, I mean, as much as it is exercise, they're also sort of able to kind of ride off the day. I mean, if something happened, they can just sort of get that clear mind and sweat it out.
And it's a very social time for them.
Sure.
So not only am I yelling over the music to give directions, I'm also hollering over them to that are talking, and they're
Right.
still riding. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like they're sweaty and they're going through their water bottles like they're supposed to.
Good.
And
whether they know it or not, I mean, it's a lot more meaningful than they realize.
Yeah.
Certainly. I mean, it's not just exercise; it's that social interaction, and it's all of that coming together, and that's what you do at the Y so well, and that's why
That's
we
what we
need
hope to.
trivia nights
Yes.
like tomorrow to be successful. So if you're watching this, even if it's at 10:40 p.m., and it could be right now,
it could be.
get a hold of Amy at the Y and get a table for trivia night at the Rendezvous. I promise you'll have fun.
Yes.
Back-to-back busy Fridays.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you before we talk about next Friday, which is the
16th.
16th. Thank you. Do you have anything going on that following Friday? You're not doing 3 Fridays in a row of stuff, are you?
No.
Okay, good.
But we also have a kids' night out this Saturday.
Oh, my gosh.
So-
This Saturday the 10th?
Yeah.
What?
So for school age kids, K through 5th graders,
Yeah.
you can $12. They can come and they swim, they eat dinner, they all play some
Nice.
dodgeball or
Yeah.
some different games like that, and then we're watching Incredibles 2 and popcorn and
Which is a very entertaining movie, by
you
the
don't
way.
have to have a membership. It's just $12 for that school age
Okay,
kid.
so that's this Saturday,
Yeah.
November.
6 to 10. So it's
Jeez
an
Louise.
opportunity for mom and dad to go have dinner and
Yeah.
maybe get some shopping done. Now we're getting into Christmas time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
So-
mean, tis the season, right? So that's okay. So not only do you have busy back-to-back Fridays, but
Throw in
a
another.
Saturday as well.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so that is Kids Night Out right there.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Ryan Broderson. That's you're marvelous. So this is 6 to 10, like Amy said, $12. I like that a lot. I didn't know that was
the
something that was
kids
offered. I
love
bet
it.
they do. Mm-hmm.
The kids who come absolutely love it. I mean, from the last one because we only do them during the school year. From the last one, they're like, when is it? When is it? When
Yeah.
is it? When is it? So it's a lot of fun to see the kids enjoy that. Because
And-
I bring out my A game. My A staff are there to.
Well, I was going to say, and not only that, but for the kids, I mean, it's 4 hours, whether they're there the whole time, but boy, are they going to have fun?
Yes.
And for the parents, you're right. What a great opportunity to
And
know
it-
that they're in a safe place and that they're going to be well taken care of.
And the Y is closed, so it's theirs.
Oh my gosh.
So it's in that evening on a Saturday evening when the Y is closed, so it's
They've got
theirs. They
full
get the
run
pool
of the
to
Y.
themselves. They
Yeah.
have the gym to themselves, and
You're going to turn everything in Brett's office upside down.
let's hope not.
You ever had that happen to you?
No.
That was a thing in college with turning things up.
I have not.
the
I
best.
think I'm just not that.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't start now. Let me
No.
tell you, don't start now, Amy. It's not the best. Next Friday is a big deal.
It is.
So trivia night this Friday, tomorrow, big deal. Next Friday, casino night, another opportunity for people to come together, maybe get a little fancy dress.
Fancy dress,
It's not required. The
It
dress
is
is not
not.
required, but
It is not.
If it's an excuse to put on a tie or some heels or a dress
Suspenders
or
and a
whatever.
fedora.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. You read my mind. I'll be dressed as Indiana Jones.
Nice.
Casino night at a new location, the Muscatine History and Industry Center.
Yeah.
And again, I'm assuming a couple tickets still available.
Yes, we do have
Okay.
tickets available. They are $40 right
Sure.
now through tomorrow. So then they go up to $50.
Oh,
we have
don't
to get
wait.
those numbers into
Right.
Geneva Country, Golf
Yeah.
and Country Club for the food. So we want to make sure that we're getting those tickets sold. But we do. So get them today, get them tomorrow.
Seriously.
$40, and that's heavy hors d'oeuvres. It's live music by Andy Griffin, and it's startup gaming money, and it's just a fun evening, and
Yeah.
cash bar.
A unique Friday in Muscatine.
it
a Friday
is.
night out in a very cool venue.
I know, we're very excited about the venue. I just think it's going to be just so fitting for,
Yeah.
our theme of the Gatsby theme, and just the atmosphere of the casino.
You know what you
idea.
could do if you run out of like the chips for the gaming? You could just use handfuls of pearl buttons.
I mean, yeah.
Because they've got a lot of them down
They
there.
probably. I don't know if Terry would be very happy if we broke into those buttons. But
Well, some of them are just in a thing, and then you just, you know what I mean?
Just don't pick that one.
Right, that's the good one. Don't touch the good one. So it is very much for adults, right?
It is a 21 and older.
Okay.
An event.
Just
the
to
casino
make
night.
sure that you're all aware, this is one of those instances where it's a nice night out, and you want adults to come and let their hair down, quite frankly,
Yes,
and
yes.
have fun. And the casino games you're not going to lose any money.
No.
You're not going to win any cash. It's not like a real casino.
You're not winning
but
cash.
There are the games
but
there.
we do have, so you're going to get some startup gaming money,
Sure.
and then you'll have opportunities. You can always go to the cashier and get more.
Sure.
Because that's going to add to your opportunities, because we do have prizes for the top 3 winners.
Nice.
So those who turn in the most money. We have a trip for 2 to Vegas, including airfare and overnight. We
Whoa.
have an iPad.
Yeah.
And we have a overnight stay to Joomer's.
Nice.
With a $100 gift certificate to their restaurant.
That
so
is great.
those are the 3 prizes for
Yeah.
the top 3. So
That's a big deal.
it is. So
Imagine going, I mean, so say it was, you're watching at home. So it's you and your significant other. You get 2 tickets, so that's $80. You go out, you get some startup dough, maybe you kick another 20 or 25. Anyways, you win a trip to Vegas. Think about how much of a return on your investment.
Yes.
I mean, right? Because
Right.
you're not having to pay for plane tickets
No.
and accommodation. That's awesome.
yeah, Muscatine Travel is fantastic with donating that
Wow.
the last 2 years.
They
so-
donated that? That is great.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to be running any tables, or are you sort of like overseeing
Well, I
the
really
entire...
say this is my line. Like I
Yeah.
sit behind the business desk, and the people come up.
Sure.
My job is to look pretty. So
Uh-huh.
So-
You caught me mid-sip. I'm with you. Yeah. I mean, you were just dressed to the nines. We saw a picture.
yeah, nope.
Yeah.
I will be running around greeting people. We'll be having some fun and and just making sure things are running. I'm not a gambler, so this is like a great opportunity for us just to learn and
People should want you at their table then.
I know,
if
I'm a
you're
lot
not
of fun.
gambler, right? Yeah. I mean, unless you have the opposite effect, like you're not you wouldn't say that you're a cooler, right? You know what that is.
Right,
That's someone that comes to the table and just
No.
everybody starts losing right away. You're not a cooler.
No.
Okay,
No.
good.
But yeah, no, we had a really good time last year, and we're looking forward again.
Yeah.
And
I've heard a lot of people talking about this event and plotting outfits. So that's a good sign, right?
I hope so,
When this is
yeah.
something that people in the community look forward to.
Yeah.
And just look at the great get up. I mean, again, Mel wins everything.
she does.
with
She's
the
a little
fake
concerned
stash.
about how she's going to upstage last year's outfit.
I don't know if you can, but I'm sure she'll try.
She will try. She will try. No, yep, and you can be as simple as putting on a black dress
Yeah.
and a fancy headgear.
Sure.
I mean, it's, I actually happened to buy my dress at JCPenney's on the clearance rack.
There you go.
So, so it's just,
Yeah.
you can be as simple as a black dress and
Yeah.
and a boa.
Listen, there's not a lot, with the exception of weddings and funerals, really.
Yeah.
Unless you work at a place where you got to dress up, not a lot of opportunities.
Right.
So this is a fun night out, and yeah, grab those. Maybe you're like me. You got 2 suits. You got 2 suits. You hope they fit. You don't wear them that
and you
often.
don't even need a jacket.
Yeah.
Because you just need the suspenders and a fedora, and you fit in perfectly with
And a nice bow tie, by
Yeah.
the way. Let's
Oh, yeah.
bring back the bow tie, right? A nice clip-on bow tie, because I'm certainly not going to tie it. I don't want to ever learn how to tie a bow tie.
But you'll have to join us for our life skills challenge over spring break, and that's one of the things we do is tying a tie.
I can tie a regular tie. See, my thing is, since I'm a tall person, I don't want to have the Sipowicz tie from
Yes.
NYPD Blue. That's a reference that not a lot of you might get. But that's where you got a tie that hits you about the belly button. I need it to be a little bit longer than that. So what I ended up doing was this past weekend I wore a tie and it was too long. But then I didn't want to go back and redo it because it's a whole thing. So
was a
I
lot of
will
work.
come out and learn how to properly tie a tie. I want to get the double Windsor, right? Isn't that a thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know
Yep.
how to do the double Windsor?
So like if I were to do it,
Yeah.
I was able to do it, and like the day that we did the tie, the kids were most excited. I mean, like when they finished
Yeah.
tying their tie, they're like, "Oh!" Like,
It's exciting. It's
the
a big
girls,
deal.
the guys, it
Yeah.
was so funny. And I thought of all the things we did this week, this was what got them the most excited was when they were actually successfully tying a tie.
Yeah, but
And-
let me tell you, for a lot of the homecomings and proms in my life, I would have to rely on my neighbor to our left, Brian, who is a school principal. Shout out to Brian Knox, if you're out there. He would tie the tie for me.
Yeah.
And then what I would do, because I was smart in high school, is at the end of the dance, I would just loosen the tie and then take it off and keep the knot.
Yes. I had to run
don't
my
wanna brag.
15-year-old over to the neighbor's house on a band day because my husband's gone hunting or something,
Sure.
and he's the one who ties all the ties. And I try to watch the videos, and I can't figure it out. I don't learn that way.
It's tough.
And so I'm like, Eric, are you there? Yeah. All
Help
right, I'm
me.
sending Jackson
Right.
in.
I'm sending over. We need it. It's an emergency tie. All right. So what is the best way to secure the tickets for casino night? Because it is $40. So there is.
$40.
And by the way, when we say that it's a $40 ticket, that's where you're going to get, the heavy hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah,
and
you're not going to go home hungry, I promise.
yeah, absolutely. So it's well worth it. So do they need to come to the Y for
So
this?
you can stop by the Y.
Mm-hmm.
You are very welcome to call and pay over the phone, and we'll just put your name on them, and we'll have them
Nice.
at the event next
Sure,
Friday. So we'll do a will call, and that way. So if you are working out of town or you can't quite make it in today because you're running around doing this or that, so you can call in over the phone and
Good,
do it,
good.
Or you can stop in.
Yeah, just don't miss it. 263-9996 for casino night. Because what'll happen is you'll see the pictures, like we were showing pictures from the previous year, and then you'll go, I missed a good time. And even if you're already going to be at trivia night tomorrow, why not have fun
tomorrow
back-to-back
night I'm going to
Fridays?
have 2 casino tickets on the silent auction for
Good
trivia.
idea. Good
along
idea.
with I have a Christmas tree that's going to be filled with raffle ticket or lottery tickets.
Scratch-offs.
And
I like the
So
scratch
we
offs.
have,
That's the way to
we
my
have lots
heart.
of silent auction stuff, and we have some great prizes for next week too. Some great silent auction
Do
stuff.
you need volunteers for casino night? I think
We
when you were
could
here
use
last
a
week.
couple more.
Okay.
I think we need another dealer or two.
Okay.
Particularly poker, I think, is what we're.
Perfect. So if someone's watching that
Yeah.
has experience as a poker player,
And
that
all
could
you do is
deal.
if you know the game
Yeah, I don't.
enough to play, you
don't.
can deal
I
at
don't-
this kind of event. So
This is gonna be a Hy-Vee today confession.
don't
Don't know how to play poker.
If it's not on the handheld machine,
No,
I
I
don't know
can't.
how to play either.
Here's a worse confession. Don't know how to play euchre.
And you live in Iowa now?
Well, listen, all my friends from college were from Dubuque, and it's
Oh,
apparently
yeah,
the game of
it
Dubuque
is, yes.
euchre. And they always said, we'll teach you how to play, and none of them did.
Mine always wanted to play hearts.
Yeah, I
which
can play
is a-
hearts. I
so-
graduated from euchre to Sink the Bismarck. Anybody? No? Okay, that's not a card game. Sorry, Mom. Don't Google Sink the Bismarck, Mom, please. It's a drinking game. All right, casino night. Look at me incriminating myself. I've been out of school long enough, Mom. Okay, I learned. It took me 4.5 years, but it was worth it. Trivia night tomorrow. Kids event this Saturday. So tomorrow is the 9th, trivia night at the Rendezvous, which
Yeah.
starts at
6:30 doors open, game start at 7.
7 o'clock. Thank you. Casino night next Friday, 6 to 10, Muscatine History and Industry Center. So Rendezvous tomorrow night.
Yep.
Kids event at the Y Saturday, 6
Yep.
to 10, $12. What a wonderful opportunity.
Uh-huh.
Minimum age for the kids is 6, is that correct?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten. Oh, great. What if my 3.5-year-old looks like a kindergartner?
Please
He's
don't
50
try that,
pounds.
because my staff probably
He's 50
would.
pounds. He's a solid kid. He made me buy him a plastic battery-powered jackhammer last night.
That's awesome.
And it doesn't work. So then he was really angry, and he's anyway. So and get your tickets for casino night. Call the Y. Stop by the Y. Don't miss out on a good time.
Yeah.
And I'll say this again: if you want to volunteer and you know how to play poker and you want to deal, it would be a lot of fun to have you there.
There, yes.
And then you're taking a break. There is nothing else coming up.
Well, I am, because I'm going on vacation
Good
for
for
2
you.
weeks after
Whoa.
casino
2
night. 2 whole
weeks.
weeks.
What's that? I guess I was off for 2 weeks with the baby, but that's great. Good for you.
And people laugh at me because it's my gymcation. I will be at the Y in Davenport, and I'll be at all the fitness centers in Davenport, and maybe even a class here or two here. But it's my gymcation. So
Yeah.
about 5 hours a day, I go to different fitness classes around
That's
town.
awesome.
So
Just for fun?
just for fun,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. I mean, you could feel free to just take it easy one day too if you want, or not.
No,
So you're taking a vacation to work out?
Yes,
All right.
like 4 or 5 hours a day. I get to see all my Zumba peeps.
You won us back when you said peeps. We were against you with the vacation to work out, but we're back with the peeps.
Peeps, yeah.
Amy Hessel, trivia night, kids event, casino night, and then gymcation.
Gymcation.
Holy moly. Have a good Thanksgiving I'll probably see you before that, but you'll be not working out on Thanksgiving, I hope.
Well, some years they do a bike class
Sad.
like early morning, or I could do the turkey trot. So
Yeah. Unless you're running with a turkey leg, I'm not interested. But it's good to see you. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on. Get a hold of Amy at the Y if you want to get a table together for trivia night, casino night, and just support the Y. I mean, I can't say enough about that place. It's fantastic. Chef Tess is in the Hy-Vee Today kitchen, and there's Chef Tess, everybody. This morning, I don't want to assume, but I felt like you were putting together a bunch of, I'm trying to think of the word, it's not shallots, it was, what were you doing?
Oh, this morning?
Yeah, send it. Scallops. I was going to say scallions. You were doing a whole bunch of scallywags. Scallions, what are those for?
We are hosting the Chamber of Commerce tonight.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's tonight.
That is tonight.
Hey, you just reminded me
You're
that
welcome.
that's going on tonight. I remember that.
You've been reminding me for like 2 months.
How about it? I thought we were doing a corn dog bar. Is that still not happening? You
I
replaced
can-
my corn dog bar with scallions, didn't you?
I did.
That's sad.
I'm
is
so
what that
sorry.
is. That's right. Bye, Amy. And then some vegetables if we go overhead shot of Chef Tess. So I'm assuming these vegetables also going to be part of the business after hours. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what's on the menu tonight? And by the way, if you're a chamber member, please come to Hy-Vee 5 to 7. Or if you're just a freeloader like myself, I'll see you here. Okay. What's on the menu, Chef Tess?
Well, I did those croquettes, those pork croquettes for our holiday show
boy.
last Friday, and those were really big hits, so I'm going to be doing those again. I also did a whipped goat cheese tartlet with a blueberry compote and some candied lime zest. I'm going to do those again. I'm going to do a Belgian like endive leaf that's filled with like ahi tuna and watermelon,
Whoa.
which is a little funky
Did
for
you
me.
say a leaf?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Belgian
Edible leaf?
yeah.
Not like the leaves that are in my yard from my neighbor's tree.
Yeah, don't eat those.
Okay, good.
Not tasty.
Good.
So
we
yeah.
cut down both of our trees, and then there's leaves in my yard. So what do you do in that Let's talk about this for 10 seconds. Your neighbor has the tree. I like my neighbor. He's fantastic. The leaves are in my yard. What do I do? Do I have to take care of them, or should I be like, hey, man, you want to get a raking party together? What should I do?
If it were me, I'd probably just take care of them.
Okay. Well,
But you don't have to do that.
I'll send you my address. So this will be fun. So this is one of those events for you where you kind of get to flex this muscle and do things that are a little different.
Yeah.
And folks are going to really enjoy all of those samples. They sound just delicious. So that's 5 to 7 with the Greater Muscatine Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the business after hours in the Market Grill Express here at Hy-Vee. Now, for someone like myself that hears some of these things like scallops and scallions also, and the ahi tuna, they make me a little nervous. You'll be able to convince someone like me to not be afraid of seafood, right?
I hope so. I always try.
You
I
do?
always try. There's a couple non-seafood options for people that aren't too into the seafood, but
Corn dogs.
I always encourage people, even if you tried it before and you think that you don't like it,
Yeah.
just always try it again. You never know when you're gonna get that one preparation that's gonna make you fall in love with scallops, for example.
Yeah,
So,
or scallions. And the ahi tuna is one of those things that is, and Chef Tess is gone. We've lost Chef Tess, everybody. She has disappeared into the abyss once again. We really got to get that hole in the floor taken care of. There, she's back. All right. I clicked my heels twice and it brought you back. But for folks that are not familiar with ahi tuna, I mean, it doesn't take a lot to cook it. You don't want to overcook it, and boy, it's delightful. I've had ahi tuna a couple times, but I've never had Chef Tess ahi tuna, so I will have to do some sampling tonight
Yeah.
while I'm also working the event. Right?
right, quality control.
Thank you. Quality control. All right. Let's get to our next guest, who might be at Business After Hours this evening. I don't know. Scott Dahlke is the boss, executive director, MCSA in the house. Are you coming to Business After Hours tonight?
Listen, I just found out about it today.
You're invited.
And I have a finance meeting this afternoon.
No.
So I'm really going to need that business after hours.
Yes. Okay. So the finance meeting does not overlap with the Business After Hours.
No, it's going to drag out right to the business after hours. And by the time I'm done with that, my hair will be gray.
Okay.
And I'll be ready to see what's going on in that grill.
It's going to be awesome. I
Before
tell you
we
what.
begin,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
I haven't seen you since your baby, and I know this is cliche.
Oh boy.
But I thought you really do have a beautiful family.
Thank you. I appreciate
It's
that.
gorgeous, and you're going to need some protection.
Oh my gosh.
to,
This is
to,
awesome.
to fend off all of those guys that are going to be coming for that little girl of yours.
Oh my gosh.
This thing's double-barreled, man.
Wow.
So From me to you, congratulations
Scott,
on that little girl of yours.
This is marvelous. Thank you. I appreciate. Look at this, Betsy. You know how quickly my kids are going to shoot each other with this later today?
That's for the guys that are coming for the girl.
Yeah. No, I'm going to keep this in the van. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to hang on to this. I'm going to try and hang on to this until prom, and I'm going to bust it out.
I almost bought handcuffs, but I was like, wait, that could go wrong.
So awesome. I really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. It's certainly different having a baby girl. Wow.
I don't envy you.
Yeah.
I think if I ever had a little girl, I would be broke.
It's different.
I would give her every little thing she ever asked for.
I feel that already. My wife said that a lot when she was pregnant, and I was like, nah, I'll be the strict dad, and I'm mushy dad.
No.
I was already mushy dad,
No.
but now I'm like, I'm mushy dad. All right, so it's been a while since you've been here.
Has been.
I think you've been here since you took over the role as executive director of MCSA.
Right afterwards, you had me on, and we had a good time.
And off to the races you go. So the obvious question that I want to start with before we kind of dig into some things that are coming up is just how are the current state of affairs at MCSA? We're sitting here in November. It is going to potentially snow tonight. It's going to get colder. Does that mean that your building will have more people? Is it at capacity right now?
Holy smokes, what a loaded question.
Yeah.
First,
Yeah.
I think it's important to note that our family shelter has been ridiculously full.
Sure.
Which is a good and a bad thing. We don't like to think that need exists in Muscatine.
Right.
But it does, and I think a part of what we've been trying to do is get the word out about what MCSA does and how we do it, and try to reduce that stigma. So people have been coming in, and I'm happy to house them.
Sure.
If we can get them into the shelter, reset their lives, get them back in stable conditions, and we really have nation-leading stats on getting people out in stable conditions, where the national average is 20 to 30% leave the shelter to good conditions. We're going between 80 and 100%.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, people are coming over here to find out what we're doing,
Yeah.
And we're really proud of it. So the fact that we were overfull on the family side is good. Our numbers dropping a little bit. Typically in the winter, we see our numbers actually go down.
Interesting.
Because, people don't think that. What happens is that, like, if you had somebody who would become evicted, you're
Sure.
more willing to accept them into your home in the
Right.
winter, especially
Yes.
if they got kids. So how do you say no and turn them
That's
away?
a good point.
It's not a good situation.
Sure.
So if anybody knows of anybody who's in that kind of situation where they're looking for something, I would say refer them over to us. We have a homeless prevention program that can prevent them from becoming homeless. But if they do need sheltering, it's not so bad. Here's what happens, Tony. If you were to say yes to your best friend, that's fine. But after a while, they get on your nerves, or you have to put them on your lease. Not that you lease, but
Sure.
and then they have to go somewhere else.
Right.
Then that person they don't trust as much. That person may be a smoker. Then they have to go to the next person's house who may be an alcoholic, and they just keep putting their kids in worse and worse situations. So while our numbers do go down a little bit in the winter, I wish that they wouldn't, because
Sure.
my wife, she investigates child abuse cases.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and she her numbers go up in the winter,
Seriously?
and that's
But
what
that
we're
makes
trying to
sense,
avoid.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have thought for sure winter, more people looking to them, but that makes sense. You're absolutely right. We're in that sort of spirit of like, yep, come on over, let me take you in and help you out. But yeah, ultimately, if it's not the best situation, and I think that's where it's so important, the story of MCSA and the success of getting people into your doors and then back out. And it's not a rushed process. So don't interpret it, if you're watching, don't interpret it as like you're getting people into MCSA and then you're trying to get them out just as quick. You're trying to set them up for success. And that's where I know it's so important to you to have relationships in the community so that you can help people with getting them plugged into potentially, programs that can help set them up with a job. Because we all know that, sometimes it's a lack of the right job as much as it is lack of affordable housing, and it can all kind of this cycle that we're continuously trying to break.
So anybody who knows me or has gone to a presentation I've made has heard about the affordable housing crisis we have in Muscatine. And I'm not trying to make things bigger than they are. I don't like exaggerating things, but we do have a bit of an issue with housing in Muscatine. The average rent is $762. And if you're making $10 an hour, which is not a terrible wage in Muscatine, you're probably pulling in around $1,000 a month. You can't afford to pay that. So that's where we come in, and we're really proud of not being like other other shelters. There's more to MCSA than just our 2 homeless shelters.
Correct.
There's the homeless prevention program, the domestic violence program, our entire lower level of collaborative partners. And we push hard.
Sure.
We push really hard. Anytime we're not getting the result we want, we're evaluating our processes and what can we do to change that. Everywhere I've ever worked, I've always been results driven.
Yeah.
And when I came over onto MCSA, that was one of the things I wanted to focus on: is what results can we produce? How do we zero in on those results, and how do we change the processes to make those results harder? So a lot of people don't know that we charge a little bit.
Sure.
And that's to keep teaching that lesson of responsibility, as well as tell the community that poor people don't mind paying their fair share.
Correct.
If they can afford it, they're going to
Yeah.
pay it. They want to have some skin in the game. They want to have some ownership.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the assumption that there's this, sense of just, well, I'm going to go to a place like MCSA and it's everything I'm going to need is going to be taken care of for me. That doesn't encourage growth, or
No.
nobody's going to want to break that cycle if that's how it is. So you really can't afford to be that way. So I totally understand that, because again, it's like you're meeting someone where they're at, and you have all of these resources and these tools, whatever word you want to use, to set them up to leave MCSA, and then hopefully they come back and say, wow, that time that I spent here was so important, it was so invaluable, it helped me, it helped my family. How can I give back? Isn't that the best part? Is when you have someone that was with MCSA when maybe they were not at their best, and now they're coming back to you saying, how can I give?
No, that touches me. That's why I get up in the morning, and I don't cry. I think the last time I shed a tear was when my grandfather passed away.
Sure.
But when I have somebody that comes back, I give tours all the time, and sometimes a past resident will come in on a tour and he'll be like, I stayed here 17 years ago.
Wow.
And then he'll tell me about his life. That almost brings me to tears.
Sure.
It's just super exciting, super cool, and it's why we do what we do. And to see the results we're getting now, I can't wait to see in 17 years what it looks like.
Yeah.
When you're making these kinds of changes in a community like Muscatine, you want to see some results immediately, but other results you're not going to see for a decade. And we've got a lot of good leadership in town now, and we're trying to focus on the fundamentals in Muscatine.
Sure.
My background is in mental health, and I try to focus on a lot of those techniques while we're implementing care at MCSA. Housing and food are the 2 basics
Right.
to human development. You're not getting anywhere else without those 2 things.
Yep.
I don't care if you love kids, if you love women, I don't care what your thing is.
Yep.
Without food and housing, you're not going anywhere else. So I get criticism sometimes for keeping the cabinets full of cereal. Am I making it too easy for them? But you're not gonna change your life. You're not
Right.
gonna move forward. You're not gonna go to school and learn.
Correct.
If you don't have a full belly.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
it's absolutely true, and it's one of those things that so it's like food, shelter, mental health. Is it food, shelter, financial stability, having a good job, but then mental health? So making sure that we're treating the issue. So what brings someone to MCSA? Is it, loss of a job, loss of a home, and here they are? Or is it something beneath the surface? And I know that that's been important recently in your building, and bringing in additional services that can really look at a person and say, yep, I totally understand that things aren't maybe going the way they should, but how are you feeling? Because oftentimes we just look and say, lost a job, lost a place to live, but is that person lost, for lack of a better analogy?
Well, I think we're hitting this from multiple angles. Let's get out the blood gloves. We're just boxing this entire thing.
Yeah.
How do we affect community change to where I did a presentation the other day. We've had a 22,000 person population in Muscatine since 1970 or before.
Sure.
Meanwhile, our poverty rate just keeps growing.
Right.
So I think at some point we need to focus on that poverty and change how we're operating in Muscatine. And so MCSA, just our name, Muscatine Center for Social Action, it allows us to do some of that strategic thinking for how do we affect change on those, and that again is the affordable housing. So we got that sixplex that we just put on the market.
So great.
You asked about why are people coming. If you only making $1,000 and the average rent is $762, you steal a little bit from your utilities this month to pay your rent. You steal a little bit from your rent this month to pay for your utilities.
Absolutely.
And eventually you end up at MCSA.
Sure.
So a lot of things we focus on, first and foremost, is how do we get your income up?
Right.
How do we get your income? Do you need a second job or a third job? Do you need to get reskilled to get, or we call it upskilled now.
Sure.
I heard that.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm going to start
Upskilled.
upskilled.
Yeah.
To get you a higher wage. So that's what we've been focusing on, is the upskilling, the welding program. We've had a lot of talks about opening up a CDL program.
Oh, wow. That is genius.
Yeah, it's all those fast-paced things, because if you're in a homeless shelter, you can't wait 2 years.
Correct.
To get a degree to upskill yourself.
That's just it. So it's all of these things that are going on for the individual that you're taking care of, and then it's only amplified if it's a family, because in addition to the concern and the stress and the worry that can come with trying to have a job that you can consistently be at, but if there's a young people, whether there's one or a couple that you're supposed to they're looking to you for guidance and tutelage, I mean, it can very quickly become overwhelming. I can't even imagine. I mean, we have 3 kids in my house now.
God bless you.
Able to come to work every day and have a good job, and my wife is able to enjoy a couple more weeks of maternity leave, but it's not the same. And I wonder often, Scott, like this morning when I'm taking my first grader to school and he's getting out of the vehicle and he's got the bags of stuff because it's a snack day, I'm thinking as he's walking in, are there kids that the only thing they're going to have today is that snack? And it's probably true. And that's tough to hear. And it's not a tough, it's a tough conversation, I think, for a lot of people to acknowledge. Sometimes we just don't want to see the bad in the place that we live.
We live in our protected world.
Sure.
In middle class and upper class America. We don't want to believe that this stuff exists. And I don't want to seem like I'm getting on a soapbox, because I don't want to force anybody to feel a certain thing. But there's, I've talked to my wife, who investigates child abuse. When I was doing mental health and I was going into people's houses, there's some pretty sad stories that are very real, that would shock people. And I'm not gonna throw all that stuff out there. I mean, if somebody wants to come down and pick my brain, we can do it. But we got to do more.
Yeah, we have to do more, and we have to do better. And I think that's where continuing to bring in different programs, whether it's the opportunity to have dental care, mental health opportunities, getting people connected to programs where they can get a better job and better themselves, having more affordable housing options. We're looking at footage from the welding program, which is just one of the greatest things ever. I mean, to know that there's...
It's really transformative. We're just finishing up with round 3 tomorrow. Yeah. I'll be going to the graduation for round 3. And it just keeps growing. The first group had 5, the second group had 6 people, and the third group has 9.
That is unbelievable, isn't it? The graduation is tomorrow, is that what you said?
Tomorrow at the college, yeah.
Okay, so there's people that are going to be, there's 9 individuals that are graduating the welding program, this accelerated program, that are then going to go out into a job that will pay them a pretty good wage.
And most of them pay at least $15 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
And you've talked about food a few times today, and I've talked about food a few times today. We're really excited that the food pantry has joined us.
How about it?
Yeah.
So Nora Dwyer will be here tomorrow.
Oh, that's so cool. That was very strategic right there.
Yeah, how about it? So, but that's a recent development. I want to ask, do you have enough room for all these programs? Now you got the food pantry. I mean,
there's growing pains for sure, but
what a good problem to have.
We have this mission. We have this mission at the Muscatine Center for Social Action, and it's to help the most vulnerable.
Sure.
So what does a food pantry do? It helps the most vulnerable and the very basic needs.
Yeah.
And I told you before, you can't get anywhere without housing and food.
Mm-hmm.
So adding that just fit naturally. We've got all these collaborative partners down there. Why not put the food pantry down there? And the numbers that they're seeing they're large. They're alarming.
Sure.
130 people a day. That kind of scares you a little bit. But so having that food pantry in our building, where we can talk about housing with them, our housing navigators, they're really amazing at knowing the different landlords and being able to get people to the landlords that have open buildings.
Sure.
A, it's helping the landlords keep their vacancy rates down.
Yep.
B, it's keeping these people housed. So having the navigators there at the food pantry, slick. What's really slick, though, is having the health clinic right there.
Unbelievable.
So the people are coming in the side door, getting their food, and Nora's doing really great things. It's almost like a grocery store now.
Yeah, it's great.
And they get choice, and choice is so important. I can go on a rant about choice. So anyways, they get choice, they get their food. After they get their food, they have to walk past the wellness clinic. And that's another new program that we've added at MCSA. Sure. And when I take people for tours of MCSA, I point out our memorial wall of the people that have used our services and have passed away at some point. And you realize how young so many of them are. We even have some little girls.
Sure.
And why are people passing away so young? But that's how it goes in poverty.
Sure.
In poverty, you're gonna die 10 to 15 years younger than people that aren't in poverty. That's not fair. Human mortality shouldn't be a class-associated thing.
No, absolutely.
So having these people coming in through the food pantry and getting that service from the wellness clinic, we can now get to that low-income population with healthcare a lot better than we ever have before.
It's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
It really is a big deal, and I don't know. When I first started out in life, I didn't think healthcare was going to be the biggest deal that I thought of. But when you think about mortality,
sure,
that's not fair. This is not fair.
No, I mean there are people walking around that are in Muscatine at this moment that are probably very sick, but they can't.
And you're encouraged when you're poor. You're encouraged. Suck it up, Buttercup. Get to work. You know. So that cough turns into bronchitis to pneumonia to aspirated, and then you die.
Yeah.
You know, it's not cool.
It's a tough thing to hear, but it's true, and that's where, again, having all of these partners and these resources in your building, I mean, it just makes sense. Certainly, it just makes sense.
And the dental clinic you mentioned, they're walking their kiddos over to the wellness clinic. The kiddos are getting their vaccinations checked, and if they are missing a vaccination, they're getting that vaccination right there.
Right.
You know, so that they can get right back to school.
Yeah.
Having the wellness clinic there and the food pantry there for the welding program. If somebody starts getting a cold, go down and see Nurse JoJo. She'll get you hooked up and back to school within the next 15 minutes.
So you're not missing
no excuses.
out. Yeah.
Man, it's like
Nurse
the ultimate.
JoJo sounds great, by the way.
It does. You got to meet her, Tony.
She seems wonderful.
She has got a passion for what she does, and you know, when you meet people that have that passion, it sucks you up. And she's almost got a little following down there now of all these people with high blood pressure that come and check themselves.
Yeah, it's good though, right? I mean, she's showing up every day,
saving lives for real.
Right,
for real.
For real. Yes. An opportunity for people to give back to MCSA on November 13th coming up.
Yes.
At the Mississippi Brew, one of those evenings where you can go to a place like the Brew and grab dinner, grab some drinks, and then they're going to kick back a portion of sales proceeds.
Yes, let's please pack the house. You know, the Brew is a great staple in Muscatine.
Absolutely.
And their support for MCSA is well needed. So let's pack the house. If you at all are thinking about it, put it on your calendars. Tell a friend, tell a relative, bring your family from New York and California over and make them go to it. It's a big deal.
I'm telling you what, it is. It's really nice to be able to have friends just literally right down the street for the Brew in particular, down Iowa Avenue, and understanding that they care and they do want to make a difference.
And we'll be kicking off our letterathon that day too. So
excellent.
We'll be inviting board members, and unfortunately, they're going to help us write letters. And
good. I'm sure they're going to be so excited to do it. Right?
They absolutely are, because you know, once you come down and you start talking to us, like, it sucked me in.
Right.
When I grew up, I didn't say I'd want to work at a homeless shelter, but you know, when you start seeing the need and you start seeing the solutions, and the solutions become tangible. You know, it sucks you in. You're like, okay, we can do this, and it gets you excited. So the board, they're coming down. They'll be helping us with the letterathon and also supporting the Brew's fundraiser.
I tell you what, it is really that individual, as much as it is the support from some of the institutional great businesses in town and them being wonderful partners down to the small businesses. But it is, Scott, ultimately that individual that is giving of themselves, whether it's via their time or monetary or food donations or clothing, or just being an ear for someone to open up to and share with. And for me, and it's not about me certainly, but you know, what really drew me to wanting to do more for the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter is just, it doesn't sit well with me thinking that there's women and children fleeing situations of domestic violence and thinking that they could show up to. First of all, I'm glad that we have the MCSA domestic violence shelter for when those circumstances arise, when they have to flee and they have nowhere, they think they have nowhere to go, they can go to the MCSA domestic violence shelter. But when they get there, that's where I'm like, we need to make sure that that place has the lights on and the heat on or the air on and has enough food.
That's literally a life and death
toiletries
situation,
and clothing. Right. I mean, they're showing up to the domestic violence shelter with, as Judy always says, the clothes on their back and their kids in their arm.
That's it. That's it.
Because
And,
when you're fleeing domestic violence, you're not thinking about, oh, I should go pack a bag. You're thinking, I need to survive and get out.
You know, and we constantly are dealing with really scary situations over there. You know, I don't want to go into too many details. We're working on a case right now where it brings tears to your eye. Like, how does that happen? And how do we keep this person safe? And all of the little things that go into it, you know, like an abusive relationship, the power and control cycle that happens with that, and you know, the women questioning themselves: did I deserve this? Did I cause this? Can I fix him? All of these things. It just the intensity, the emotional intensity there is humbling and sobering. So they take the ladies at the domestic violence shelter take their job seriously.
Absolutely.
And they do phenomenal work.
And that's why, you know, for me, being on like the fundraising board for the New Beginnings fundraiser, which will be coming around in April, sooner than later, it's so important for all of these events, whether it's like a night at the brew for MCSA or various ways you can give to MCSA, give to the domestic violence shelter. Like, I know we ask a lot for this community. For a size of a community like Muscatine really is. I mean, if you drill down to it, and even if you lump in the outer lying area in like the Wiltons and the, you know, Letts and Fruit, I mean, not a lot of people to pull from ultimately.
No,
but again, we're there time and time again. We ask for help. It's almost like fishing, and sometimes you feel like you're casting this line, and there ain't going to be no fish anywhere.
I think I've just been blown away by this town.
Yeah.
You and I are both transplants to this town,
absolutely.
happily, very happily. And I can't. I've worked in New York, I've worked in Pennsylvania, I've worked in New Jersey, North Carolina, and I'm here. And this town by far does more with less than anywhere else I've seen. We have less resources. We have less services for people, less avenues for them to get out of the situations they're in. But the way this town comes together and collaborates and shares information and comes together is just overwhelming. If we could do this in a more organized fashion, we could really change the outcomes. And like I said, in a decade from now, you know, instead of having an 18% poverty rate, I really do believe in a decade we can drop that. For certain. It's not. I don't think it's me being corny or naive. I see the solutions out there.
Certainly, it would be one thing to be optimistic but not be doing things every day to sort of solidify that optimism. I mean, of course we all want the best for each other, but the work is being done. That's just it. I mean, you know, so I look at it as like, you want to feel optimistic, you want to have that sense of hope for people because you're showing up every day and you got the right resources and the right people in place, and you're doing good work. And that being said, there's always opportunities for people to get connected on a volunteer basis. I'm telling you, even if you've just never been to MCSA, come down.
Come down, man. Come down. You will be amazed. You will be amazed at what's going on there. People that don't even believe in this kind of stuff, when they come, they're like, wow, that welding program, you know, the chore program, all of these things are just really good. And the more we can do it, the more our community supports us, the more leverage we have to do it our way, the Muscatine way. And it's just super sitting there in the seat I sit in. It's just very humbling. There's no day that I feel like I can't have my A game on because you're coming and helping out in the beginnings, and you bring your A game, and he's coming to help shoot videos, and he's bringing his A game. How do I ever not bring my own A game?
Every day.
It's just super humbling. I feel bad sometimes for my wife and kid because I almost eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff now.
You have to. It's a lifestyle.
And my kid comes down and he'll volunteer serving dinners now.
Awesome.
You know, he's 12 years old and he told me he was studying different cultures for his school class, and he was telling my wife was asking him, you know, what culture you want to study? He says, I want to study the impoverished. And
wow.
And another time she was talking about like, I hope you realize how good you have it. And he said, Mom, I know how good I have it. I've known how good I have it ever since Dad took this job.
Right.
You know, and so
it's really important, though. I mean, if you think about it, we have to set up our children, and even if you don't have kids, I mean, we have to set up our younger people to carry this mission forward. I mean, we need them to understand that they can.
And if we do it in a smart way, Tony, we're not going to need to carry the forward in Muscatine because we're going to fix it.
Right.
We're going to fix it.
Yeah.
I think that sounds naive, but I don't. I don't.
I mean, I think you're right. I mean, it's ambitious to want to really make a change, and it doesn't happen overnight. That's the other thing. I just hope people understand that, like, it's not as easy as flipping on a light switch. You know, I mean, it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, but as long as that momentum carries forward, yes, it'll happen. We'll get there.
It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen. I really have faith.
It's getting better every day when you bring in the food pantry, and when you can go to a welding graduation tomorrow and there's 9 people and those numbers are on the rise. I mean, it's just, you know, it is going to happen.
And it doesn't happen without support from this community.
Sure.
You know, Hy-Vee has been a huge supporter for us. Your director, Jim.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
He's a good guy.
He's amazing. Just the amount of support we get, we can't have enough. We can't have enough. So come to the 13th fundraiser. If you want to volunteer, with the food pantry now being in MCSA, we're going to have a lot more volunteer opportunities. So it's always going to be needed.
I tell you what, you reach out to MCSA, Muscatine Center for Social Action, on Facebook if that's your preferred method of communication. You can call down to MCSA. You can stop down on Iowa Avenue. I mean, I think of all the times, you know, I drive past. And I guarantee, I mean, thousands of people do it every day. And whether it's just a place that they see and go, I wonder what's going on in there right now, or they drive past it and go, I remember when my friend or my relative was at MCSA and they kind of pulled themselves up with their bootstraps. And
there's Jim.
There's Jim and Matt. So, I mean, it's really, you know, look at MCSA as a place that's constantly doing good work. And if there's a way you at home watching can get connected to MCSA, I encourage you to do so. Even if it's just having a conversation with somebody about watching this show and saying, wow, I learned about MCSA and I didn't know that it had X, Y, and Z. Because all it takes, that's it, right? I mean, this.
You know, how many people know? We got a mental health clinic, a wellness clinic, a dental clinic. We've got a therapy clinic.
Right.
We've got the food pantry. We've got apartment rentals.
Yep.
2 homeless shelters, one for families, one for just single guys, and a domestic violence shelter. I mean,
it's a lot.
Like I said my first time on this show, sometimes I feel like we're the Hy-Vee of social services.
You
guys got a Starbucks, a laundry,
right?
You know, like you got all these things that people don't realize.
But I tell you what, it's so important, and we're looking at the website. So please get a hold of Scott and his very talented, hardworking crew down at MCSA, and at the very least, come to the brew on the 13th. Next Tuesday.
Please come out, pack the house.
Yeah, get 4 appetizers, right?
4 appetizers, 4 beers. I mean,
yeah, sure. Hey, listen, you know, have an entertaining Tuesday for a good cause. It's great to see you.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
I got to tell 2 short jokes and a long joke because we had so many deep, sobering. Okay. Ready? 2 short jokes and a long joke.
Yes.
Joke. You like it? 2 short ones and a long one?
Oh, that is awesome. All right. I was really prepared. I'm like, we had a magician yesterday. We had a mentalist the day before. Scott's about to drop some jokes.
Well, I have to do something to bring some light to it because when
you
talk about mortality, it's tough.
Zombie strike Nerf
He's going to protect his daughter. He's going to protect his daughter. Double barrel.
The house. Double barrel hash. Thank you, buddy. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, Tony.
November 13th, pack the house at the brew. Chef Tess, still rocking and rolling in the kitchen. And then Betsy, I want to take the cart cam to show everybody the ugly Christmas sweaters that we have at Hy-Vee. Holy moly, I was excited to see these yesterday. It was fantastic. Chef Tess, at this moment, again, continuing to prep for the Chamber After Hours event. Starting at 5 o'clock, Greater Muscatine Chamber of Commerce and Industry here at Hy-Vee, and some pickled green beans?
Yes, sir.
Interesting. What are they pickled in? Is it a rind? What does it taste like?
This is a product that we carry in the deli.
Okay.
There's some boutique-y little carts right out front of the meat and cheese counter.
Yeah.
Lots of jams, jellies, mustard, and pickles. And these are a dill pickled green bean, and they are phenomenal.
Some would say that dill pickled green bean is my jam. Some would say that, not me. What's up?
Some might say that.
Some would say that. And then overhead, we've got, is this the blueberry compote?
Yes.
Oh boy, I'll tell you what. So you might have heard Chef Tess say the word goat cheese and then blueberry compote, and then you're thinking a dessert with blue cheese or with blueberries and goat cheese. What? It was wonderful. And admittedly, I'm not the biggest goat cheese fan, but there's something about Chef Tess that's savory and that's sweet, and I love blueberries. So again, you've convinced me to come around on the old goat cheese, and it is definitely, I don't want to say in its acquired taste, but it is. If you don't have it that often, you'll know what you're having. But putting that blueberry on top, it's just fantastic. So what goes into a blueberry compote?
So a compote is just kind of a fancy word for basically like cooked down fruit. Okay. So we have lots of fancy words that we use.
Microwave fruit, apparently. Not really. So it's just that? It's just the blueberries cooked down?
It's blueberries cooked down with a little bit of sugar,
okay,
a little bit of water. There's a little bit of some assorted spices in there for flavor, and then lemon zest. So it's really, really simple. You can use it for, a nice plated dessert like this. You can put it over. Let it cool down and put it over a wheel of brie cheese for the holidays. It's super easy to do, and you can just use it as a jam for a charcuterie board.
It is really good. And again, blueberries, good for your brain. It's a brain food, right?
Yeah,
it's great for you. So this is just fantastic. I mean, I'm telling you, we had these last Friday for the holiday show, and they were popular.
They were.
Almost as popular as those pork croquettes that I had just a couple of, because they were fabulous. And a pork croquette for the folks at home is...
Croquette is another fancy word for something that is rolled into a ball and then deep fried. So you can make a croquette out of anything that you can form into
Because croquette sounds better than pork meatball.
Yeah, it does. Sounds a lot better.
Yeah, it does. If you're going to say something like that, so let's all say pork croquette, and then let's all say pork meatball. It just rolls off the tongue better, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
You feel ultimately better about it. Okay, well, we are excited, and we should also mention that Chef Tess will be apparently in two places at once later today with dinner starting at 4 o'clock. It's a half rack of ribs and some cowboy beans and some coleslaw. We'll show the graphic towards the end of the show, so if you're coming to the after hours event, the business after hours, lucky you. And if you're not coming to that, please come grab dinner starting at 4 o'clock. Half rack of ribs sounds good for breakfast, because that's when we're doing the show right now. All right, Betsy, quick, if you could, to the cart cam. You're going to go straight, and then you're going to turn left, and you're going to see Christmas sweaters. You will not miss these. I even tried one on yesterday. It was an extra large, and it was a snug fit. So... if you buy an extra large hoodie and it seems a little broken in, I apologize. And by hoodie, I mean these ugly Christmas sweaters. I was just really excited to see this. I didn't know that this would be something that we would carry here at Hy-Vee. But yes, if you are going to go to an ugly Christmas sweater party, if you need one, we've got your back. Look at these sweaters right there. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yes. Happy holidays. Look at how fun they are. And I believe that is the one, not the one that I had on, but that's a good looking one with the little elf feet and the shoes and the socks and the whole thing. And they smell like Christmas. So, and I will tell you that the buttons do not work. It's a pullover. So that one up top is the one that I tried on with the Santa and the reindeer. And then Betsy's going to show us the backside because there's more Christmas sweaters at your Muscatine Hy-Vee. Look at the Nutcracker. I'm telling you, you may never thought you could come to Hy-Vee and get a Christmas sweater, but you would be mistaken. We've got your back, and we hope to see you here. So Toyota Muscatine Car Cam, everybody. Let's say hello to Jacob, Lisa, and Lindsay watching on Facebook right now. We appreciate you. I mentioned dinner with Chef Tess tonight, and with the wiggle of my nose, Ryan Broderson is going to make that appear on the screen in front of you. Starting at 4 o'clock, it's Thursday dinner. Today is Thursday, November the 8th. Yes, it's on the screen, Tony. Mm-hmm. You could just look, and it's right above your head. Right over here. Wait, it's backwards. It's right over here. There it is, right there. So, Rye Guy on the Hy-Vee Face Bizzle page, we've got the dinner with Chef Tess, half rack of ribs, coleslaw. There, it's just great. I'm telling you, you're going to eat well this evening at Hy-Vee. Boom. You scroll up just a hair, you'll see it. There it is. There's Chef Tess. I recognize Chef Tess anyway. 4 till 7, ribs, homemade cowboy beans, right?
Yes, sir.
And coleslaw. $8. What a great price. Yeah. Are the ribs going to be sauced or just dry rubbed?
They will be dry rubbed.
Okay.
And then we will have sauce on the side.
Sauce on the side, the way it should be. You want to taste the meat and the flavor of everything that's kind of going on there. All right. So I mentioned the ugly Christmas sweaters. We talked about that. I should also tell you, in all seriousness, that this is an empty Starbucks cup. Today is National Cappuccino Day. Did you know that? November the 8th is cappuccino or cappuccino, depending on how you say it. We're not going to judge you. We just want you to come and get your favorite cappuccino at Starbucks inside Hy-Vee. It's also National STEM Day, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. So shout out to all the great STEM programs and the fact that we're encouraging our young people to get interested in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. It is National STEM Day. And last but not least, it's also National Parents as Teachers Day. So if you are a parent that is also a teacher, or if you're a parent that is homeschooling your kids, shout out to you. Ryan Broderson, the only thing that I want to show people before we wrap is the Veterans Breakfast, because that's coming up on Monday, and we want to invite every veteran and their significant other. If you serve this country, if you are still serving this country, we hope to see you on Monday, November 12th, starting at 6 a.m. right here at your Muscatine Hy-Vee. We expect a big turnout, as I mentioned yesterday, upwards of 475 to over 500 men and women that have proudly served this country, and quite frankly, they allow us to be sitting here at this very moment doing a show from a grocery store. This is the greatest country in the world, right? I mean, people make the decision to serve. I have friends and family at this moment that are in the Navy. My grandfather served in World War II. He lost his brother in World War II. You know, I was in high school when September 11th happened, and I have a lot of friends that joined the military then and have been in places like Iraq and Afghanistan. And certainly we think about our service members often, and those that unfortunately made the ultimate sacrifice. We remember them, hopefully, you know, not just a day or two out of the year. Think about them all the time, right? So Veterans Day breakfast here at Hy-Vee, Monday, November 12th, starting at 6 a.m. And if you're just going to be out shopping on Monday, maybe you're not a veteran, please stop by, say hi, say thank you, meet and greet with veterans. You'll probably recognize quite a few. What's interesting to me is that the people that I've seen in this store that I'll probably see on Monday that I didn't know served, and I can't wait to greet them and say thank you. We'll also have a live performance from the Muskie Marching Band starting around 8:30 a.m. So my intent with this show is to start maybe 10 minutes early, capture that, and then we'll have a 21-gun salute at 9 o'clock, all happening on Veterans Day. Tomorrow, Friday, busy show. 3 sets of guests, bang, bang, boom. We're going to start with our friend Renee talking about some beverages with Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits. Then we'll chat with Nora Dwyer with the Food Pantry. And last but not least, Mary Wildermuth and Jody Hansen will be here talking about a downtown Muscatine event this coming Sunday. Busy show. We'll probably have to start at 4 a.m. tomorrow to fit everybody in. We'll see if we can make that happen. So thank you again for watching this. Big thanks to Amy Hessel with the Muscatine Community YMCA. Trivia night Friday, tomorrow. Or if you're watching this on Friday, it's tonight at the Rendezvous. Get a team together. Support the Y and everything that they do. Amy Hessel and the Y. Good people. Next Friday, casino night at the Muscatine History and Industry Center. And of course, thanks to our friend Scott Dahlke, Executive Director with MCSA, the Muscatine Center for Social Action. We encourage you to get connected, get involved, volunteer. At the very least, go to a place like the Mississippi Brew next Tuesday and support MCSA. Scott also gave me a double-barrel Nerf zombie strike gun to protect my baby daughter, so I appreciate that very much. I just want to tell everybody at MCSA, you can come on the show. You don't have to bring me anything. I appreciate this, and I appreciated the different Photoshop stuff, and y'all can just come on, though. I mean, there's no expectation. I just, you know, but this is great. I'm going to have to keep this from the boys for sure. Thanks to CBI Bank and Trust. Thanks to Toyota Muscatine and to our friends at Team Staffing. We'll leave you with the CBI Bank and Trust aisle cam and look forward to seeing you on Friday. Thanks for watching on cable, too, by the way. I know that you're out there and truly appreciate it. And snow, apparently, in the forecast. Will we be talking about snow? Will there be an inch or two of snow tonight into Friday? We'll find out. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thanks for watching Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community. Questions, comments, know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone on Facebook or via email, hyveetoday@gmail.com.